fix that on my end. Do what I can to keep the delay consistent. But for right now, iG.V, gonna load out into their lanes, smoke out actually. Not to any significant degree. We got Cicada playing the Shadow Fiend super, is on the Warlock. Monkey King is here as well. Should just be dogfights. I don't really know why he's not tagged as dogfights. I don't know why he doesn't have a name. Yeah, who knows. Paparazzi is on the Ember Spirit, and in July, he's on the Tidehunter. On the other end, we got June playing the Kunkka with a dope hat. Flyby is on the Morphling, got Demons on the Crystal Maiden. Over on mid, it's Shade on the Lina, and top lane Sep is on the Clockwork. Lanes, at least from CDEC side, are going to be exactly what you would expect, and pretty much exact same thing from the iG.V side. So very predictable lanes. This Clockwork should be a little bit tough to deal with. Again, you can poke at him with the Warlock, but going for him as an Ember Spirit is kind of tough. Shade is going to run into dogfights. See that he has his passive first. That's some good intel for CDEC. I don't know if it's going to be a huge, but it's something. Sep either way, up against a handful of melee heroes. Those cogs are going to be a pain in the ass. An Ember Spirit with no mana, not exactly a dangerous hero. Now, this mid lane matchup of Lina versus the SF really does depend on SF getting a couple of souls to begin things. There's one. If Shade's able to lock this Shadow Fiend out for, just a minute, keep him rather low on souls, trade hits like this is great for Shade. Hada, we're off to a little bit of a slow start. You'll need a Monkey King rotation. And Monkey King would definitely rather be on top lane trying to deal with this Clockwork than going towards mid trying to help a low level, under damage, under farmed Shadow Fiend. That's not fun. In July, actually, he's going to get some help from the Warlock. Sticking around here just a little bit with the Shadow Word and backup. Now, he is going to paint himself as a potential target. Here's the Frostbite Torrent combo. They have a waveform. No, they don't, actually. There's a lot of agility from this Morphling. With the Anchor Smash to land, it's going to give a lot of minus damage to this Morph, and it will get the Tidehunter out. But for CDEC, they barely expend anything there. Kunkka's got a lot more of those Torrents in the tank, especially since CM should eventually hit that level 2 mark, even more mana. There's not much that CDEC have to worry about as far as going for that combo, especially if the Warlock is off lane. They don't see the Warlock, and they see in July. Well, in July, he's going to drive Flyby back. Anchor Smash this time does not land on the Morphling. There's the freeze. There's the lift up. It's all going to land. Flyby, this time as waveform, going to get ahead of in July. Kraken Shell, Shadow Word, is it good enough? It's close. They can't get the kill. This time it's going to cost CDEC quite a bit of health, just poking back from the Warlock's right clicks. They do get the Shrine out kind of early. The CM, only level 1, really would like to back off. Use this last Frostbite in order to kill creeps in the jungle, get to that level 2 mark at least, get a point in aura. But for right now, forced to stick around. Looks like June is going to refill the tanks over in the Shrine area. In this top lane, we can see this Clockwork, not with a ton of CS, but with a lot of experience. And Injuly's doing pretty well for himself as well, but a couple of brushes with death. Not exactly ideal for a Tide, and it's going to only get worse once more points in these abilities come up, especially this waveform. X marks the spot, onto In July. Anchor Smash will land on Flyby, so that damage is going to plummet. Frostbite is there for this chain, but it's just damage at this point. There is no Shrine, so this damage is really hard for this Tidehunter to recover from. Overall, mid lane, at this point looking a little bit like a wash. No help on the Lina from the Monkey King, as his hands full up towards top. We'll chain the clock, but that's about it. That actually did a lot. That Boundless Strike did a lot of damage. Okay. They root the Warlock. Now that's a much easier kill if they actually go for it. Morphling is not right-clicking, though. Got Anchor Smashed, waveform in. They get the kill anyway. That's on the Super. And in July, he can take a couple of hits on his way out as well. June gets the last hit and the first blood. Turns out Warlock's a lot easier to kill than a Tidehunter. Someone write that down. Flyby, he's going to have a absolute crap ton of mana, actually. Yeah, with Aura Morphling, you are pretty happy to keep waveforming for farming, for harassment, for both. his magic stick at magic wand rather at 9 charges already. He is going to be worth a wealth of aggression. And I don't know if this Tidehunter really wants to stick around for it. He's still hanging around here, but without the Warlock, pretty vulnerable. Dogfights has Boundless Strike with a double damage rune. Cicada will get stunned up though. Shade looking to race for a Shadow Fiend kill. He was pretty screwed once that Boundless Strike landed, so I guess he did what he can, but Cicada still gonna get a very big kill on the enemy Lina. Level 5 versus almost level 5. But that's the Monkey King rotation. Pretty simple one with that double damage rune that iG.V will need if they want this Shadow Fiend to remain very competitive in this game. You could have all these big teamfight ultimates with the Warlock and the Tide. At the end of the day, if you don't have that damage to the towers, it's all kind of mediocre. Over towards bottom lane now in July. Once again, jumped on. Waveform 2 wouldn't have done it. There's level 2 Torrent. No Nova yet on CM. This Tidehunter is not having a fun time here, but he's surviving. That's all that counts, right? I feel like it's only a matter of time, though. It's only a matter of time, because his survivability is not scaling up nearly as quickly as the aggressive power as this bottom lane of CDEC. So eventually they'll be outpaced. They'll outpace the Tidehunter. Sep. Cogs up. He will not do much with those cogs. He has no battery assault either. He will get stunned out of his TP, and now he's just dead. Dogfight's gonna snag the last hit. Sep will fall. Be pushing 4 on the clockwork. Still a decent amount of experience on him. Wow, he has 10 denies. That counts cogs. I'm not really sure how many of those are cogs. Probably actually most of them. Either way, clockwork down. Just needs to hit that level 6 mark. But iG.V, despite the fact that in July, wow, this is a serious stack. Despite that the fact that he's been aggressed upon multiple times, still in a pretty good spot. Although Monkey King a little bit less so. We'll get stunned up. We'll stun Shade equally, but Dragon Slave will miss actually. And now Dogfights is caught in a cage, pretty much exactly where monkeys belong, right? There he goes, the Monkey King, and September gets a little bit of revenge. 2-2 now. This bottom lane now, Morphling has a free lane. This Tide, though, is looking at a lot of incoming cash. They will... Oh, actually, trade hits. Shade will go down. Boundless Strike slows down June, but X Marks will bring Cicada right back in. Not enough damage with that right click, though. With the Flare also will not do it. And Lina and Kunkka will both fail to kill off Cicada. Now level 7 Shadow Fiend. That raise is serious business. And Lina's damage output, even with that Laguna Blade, just not enough. Flyby in the meantime, with not enough help from his allies. CM in the jungle, Kunkka over in mid. Not really a great hero to have versus these two Kunkka, or the Tide and the Warlock rather. So you can take a lot of damage from waveforming in like that. He has mana to spare, but still, that's a little bit aggressive. Another anchor to land. He's actually just straight dying right now. He has stick charges, he has backup. Maybe he's trying to get iG.V softened up with the waveforms. And in July, he is going to be hit with the Nova. Frostbite. They will lose September in the meantime. In July now, X-Torrent combo with another waveform here in July is very close to death. He has a raindrop though, another Frostbite, but it'll get Kraken shelled off. So much mana spent by CDEC and so little done to the Tide. He's still around, just hanging in the area. Pretty darn confident this Tide, and this Warlock is just under no pressure. If they go for the Warlock, and is more difficult to get to, he's just in the back. Now, that's a pretty easy kill for CDEC, but they just can't find the Warlock. Not in time, at least. Shadow Fiend and Lina, they're still pretty much neck and neck as far as net worth is concerned. Lina's death is actually a little bit surprising. In July, once again, softened up. Flyby this time, not hit with the Anchor Smash. Demon's going to come in with the Root. Heal goes onto In July, lands an Anchor Smash finally onto the Morphling, gets pulled right back into a Torrent. Heal level 2 is doing some serious work right now. In July is just refusing to go down. Another Root, another right click will finally get the kill. 49 damage, CM right click. killed off a Tidehunter. Yeah. It's slow, it's really messy, but for CDEC it's a much needed kill. And iG.V, losing a Tidehunter is not really a terribly huge deal. I mean, he's been doing really well so far. Really well, especially after having cleared out that stack. Has another kind of big stack to work with in just a little bit. But, I mean, usually Tidehunters, that's just what they do. They die. They tend to die. Offlaners tend to die. The fact that we're able to keep them alive for this long is, quite frankly, surprising. Off in the top lane, Sep did go down a handful of times himself. But got a kill, got an assist, has level 6 as well. Will stick around in this top lane. He's actually getting a decent amount out of this lane. A lot of experience, a lot of farm on this clock is needed. I mean, hookshot is great and everything, but you can hookshot into a hero if they're at full HP. You're most likely not going to kill them as a clock with only 2 points in battery assault. Need that level 7. I guess at this point it's level 8. They're going to find super. Although Dogfights is going to jump right in onto Flyby. He will get into huge Boundless Strike. This is a support hero we're talking about, but those mastery charges stacking up in Dogfights and chase after a Morphling, but gets baited in by June. Now here comes the trip in the air. There's a Torrent, there's a Frostbite to leash him back to the ground. That'll kill off the Monkey. Paparazzi will solo kill September in the meantime. In July has a Ravage, but he knows he can't get any kills with it. Overall, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Clockwork being done in by an Ember Spirit. It was a triple jump in Ember, who at this point has a Veil on him. And of that level 10. A lot of extra magic damage. Cloak on Clockwork? No, there isn't one. He does have a Raindrop, but that's not nearly going to be enough. Monkey King back in bottom. They see Demons, and Demons has no clue that the Monkey King is here. Nova in July. It's hit with the stick. Jumped in on. And that Shadow Word. CM is not exactly what I would call a tanky hero, though she's getting a lot of distance. Shadow Word's actually going to be pretty close. Super's taking tower shots. They drop the Monkey ultimate as low as the Ravage, trying to go for the Morphling. Strength Morph is pretty powerful, though. He's going to get off to the south and will survive. No backup needed. They will be just fine. Somehow Demons, of all heroes, surviving that. Dogfight still has his mastery charges with the stick. Will almost straight kill off CM. One more tap is all he needs, but he can't quite find it. Gets frozen in place. Getcha baited. The CM movement speed with the jukes. They will also at the same time be going for Cicada. Double TPs are coming in. They have a Laguna Blade, but he's going to go Shadow Amulet. They can't see him. Hookshot in. They still end the boat, and they still get the kill. Shade in the meantime dodging Paparazzi's jump in. Laguna Blade, LSA. Well, she doesn't have enough mana for the Laguna, but still will actually finally get enough and kill off Super and be on the run. There's no mana here on Paparazzi. He has stick charges that will not give him enough for another jump. He does have enough for chains, though, and he'll catch the Lina on the TP out. Get a much needed kill there to make it a 2-for-1 trade up in that shrine area. But for CDEC, managing this bottom lane, baiting in the Monkey King. Also, they picked off the Warlock there as well. Able to kill off the Shadow Fiend before the Lina dies. She actually got 2 kills and then died. Not exactly ideal. You don't want your Lina to die ever. But you can't complain about that one if you're CDEC. Especially if you're the Morphling and CM. You gotta be really happy about that situation. We can see this Kunkka's doing some serious work. Just landing his stun combos over and over again. That boat on the Shadow Fiend through Invis. I mean, that boat is just a ridiculously overpowered ultimate. Of course, the downside is that it's hard to land. But as far as raw power level is concerned, it's hard to top Ghost Ship. CM this time is not going to survive. Paparazzi, clean jump in. Can afford to die a couple times. Wow, look at this Warlock. 500 net worth. Feels terrible, man. They're going to hookshot in on the clock. Great cogs. Now here comes the Ghost Ship. Straight for you, Tidehunter. Compliments of June. In July is going to get bowled over by that one. Rum's still up, although it will fade shortly after. They will see Paparazzi with that flare, I think. Sep has cogs, and he will drop them. Force Ember Spirit back. Here comes the Boundless Strike. He will land on 2. Jump in. That'll crush the Clockwork. They'll freeze the Ember Spirit. Freezing Field is there as well as the X Mark. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. Can they do enough damage to kill him off, though? Tower is finally shooting at him. Dragon Slave comes in from the north. They'll get the kill. Now onto the Monkey King. The ultimate will not kill off demons. How the hell is CM surviving this long in these engagements? I don't know. But somehow she's surviving 2, 1, and 5. I mean, the 2 is great. The 5 is great. That 1 in the middle, though, that 1 death on the CM is surprising. CM never survives. That's just not her job. She's supposed to die. I know nothing anymore. My whole life is a lie. She's actually surviving enough, getting enough gold to start building up towards that Hand of Midas. She only has this Glove of Haste, which is really awkward because if you don't get a Midas, you know, shortly after, this item is trash on a CM. Although, you know, that 49 damage did kill off the Tidehunter earlier, so maybe not. Attack speed CM incoming. But this Kunkka seems like he has iG.V's number. They're just not respecting him enough. And if you are not jumping on him, if you don't close the distance, that Ghost Ship is going to wreck you. If you let him set up his combo, it will also wreck you. Dogfights Monkey King is, I don't want to say playing poorly, it just seems like he's kind of the one doing the most disrespect. Oh, the Requiem. Flyby smelled something. He'll back off before he gets hit with that. It's a level 2 Requiem. At melee range with the Morphling. I think that's enough damage. 960 HP, that's going to be close. Smoke time. They do have quite a bit of mana on this Lina. She has her combo. She has a Soul Ring as well, so she'll definitely have her combo. Yeah, killed the Shadow Fiend Illusion. They're really going to get baited in by it. Now Cicada, well, he will get hook shot still. He's calling the cogs and dusted up. He'll try to use his ult to get the death one off. Chaotic Offering drops in the meantime, but it's only on a Kunkka. He's the only one of any relevance here. He's rummed up, drunk off his ass, and will drop a couple more spells before inevitably falling. As long as they don't lose anyone else here, CDEC, and it looks like they won't, they should be pretty happy with that. A great trade, losing a support for a Shadow Fiend. With their hook shot in 45, they will try to go for that Warlock Golem. Morphling, why? He will actually still have her illusion up. I thought that was killed off. Never mind, I did not see that number on his head. Too many numbers on his head with the Monkey King and stuff. Yeah, that Shadow Fiend illusion actually got out of there. Surprising considering how much they spent to actually kill it off. Yet another SF kill. He has Shadow Blade, which is an absolute great item offensively, but defensively, up against a Clockwork, that's not going to fly, man. CDEC definitely starting to get some powerful combos to come together. And their supports, like, you know, net worth-wise, not really going to be telling any tales about that, but still CM is surviving. 900 out of that Hand of Midas. June not doing too terribly either. Level 9 Kunkka. It's really all he wants, just that experience. Flyby. Little waveform away. Has a Lincoln Sphere as well, so Gush is pretty bad here. Ninja IG, they're going to try to make an aggressive play. They don't have the Wukong command, but they do have a Ravage. They do have June in their sights. This is something that CDEC can maybe even fight over if they had hook shot, which they don't actually, so they can't fight over it. No easy way to get in. Torrent is great. The deny almost there. They'll Boundless Strike onto the CM. But of course CM is always going to survive because that's how she rolls. In July is going to get bumped back into the boat by the Adaptive Strike. What a sick play by Flyby. Requiem off into the trees is going to be really good. Jumping from Monkey King as well as the Ember Spirit will crush 2 immediately. Those are the 2 supports. They're going to try to kill off Cicada, but he's very tanky at this stage. Not much damage being done by Sep or Flyby. Dogfight Paparazzi. Going to look for the Clockwork. Will find him. He has Hand of Midas, but he is going to go down. And the Morphling just doesn't have enough, although he's going to try to waveform in for a cheesy kill on Cicada. Now he's leashed down, and he's going to be dropped soon, maybe. Well, the Mastery charges are being stacked up, jump in again, and everyone from CDEC gonna fall to iG.V. That Requiem from the trees, the synergy with the Monkey jumping in and the Ember Spirit jumping in. I mean, that was a really good management from CDEC to handle the enemy Tidehunter. But they grouped up just a little bit too hard. Like, they kill off the Tide with a couple heroes here, a couple heroes here, a Tide in the middle. That's perfect, right? Like, you don't get hit by everything. But going for more, going for that chase, certainly a little bit too aggressive there from the CDEC side. As it stands, iG.V after that fight will gain a little bit of an advantage. That is, of course, not something that CDEC cannot come back from, although Shade running into a lot of heroes, that's not what he wants to see. He has a Laguna Blade, he'll drop it onto Super, Warlock should be fine, gets mech'd up. Yeah, poor Lina, does have a Bloodstone, still pretty fresh, but has opted to not go for the respawn talent, so she actually has to wait before she can play the game again. That's the worst feeling in the world when you're dead and you actually don't have a respawn talent. Sakata, very, very close to death. He's going to teleport just in the nick of time. iG.V are now starting to get some momentum. That last team fight, absolutely backbreaking. And the Morphling trying to just cheese kill the Shadow Fiend at the end, whereas he could have just backed off this way and survived. Makes that fight even more expensive. Shot. They're going to jump in, land on the Monkey King. He's going to get his Boundless Strike out, but there's a boat with his name on it. Never mind. Dead before the boat lands. Should get this tower as well. Although Paparazzi, not quite. Another kill on dogfights. Another kill for this Clockwork. She's been very active around the map. But this Hand of Midas ticking. Blade Mail will be active, and iG.V have a lot of damage that is difficult to control. Like Monkey King kind of has a lot of that type of damage. Hell, everyone on iG.Vitality actually, like actually everyone. Difficult to control, kind of wide magic damage. So that Blade Mail is going to do some serious work for Sep once he gets it. Although, had Hand of Midas available for a long time. Pains me deep into my soul to see that. He'll use it. He'll have level 12 now. Pretty big level for a Clockwork to have. That reduced cooldown of Hookshot doesn't seem like a lot, but 15 seconds extra uptime, it does add up very quickly. He has level 4 Battery Assault. Can't kill off a Tide. You actually can do a lot of damage to a Tide if you went for that. Again, not enough to kill, but still, it's a... This is one of the highest single target damage spells in Dota. If you can only connect it onto heroes. It's a surprising amount of damage for sure. Excellent. Ember Spirit, gonna go for the full magic build. It's gonna be returned back to him once this Blade Mail comes up. Gets a little bit of help from the enemy Morphling actually. If the Morphling shotguns anyone, he will be so easy to kill off by Paparazzi. Ethereal. And the triple jumps with the Veil. It's like giving the Ember Spirit a Ethereal Blade of his own. Straight push bottom, met with a straight push top. Sakata's pushing, though, is hard to trump. They will lose their Courier, the Radiant. Not really sure how that happens, but this bottom lane will be traded away for top. No one coming in. Yeah. 1-1 tower trade. Nothing much to say about that. Unless it's a 2-1 tower trade. That's a little bit more of an issue here. Dogfights is off in the trees. And CDEC have done a really poor job at scouting for him thus far. They have Shadow Fiend in their focus. It's a hero that they should be paying the most attention to, but Monkey King... Well, Flare is not going to go that way. Orange pinged it, so Demons will Nova. They see him. No X marks. No nothing, actually. He just bounces out of there. Often bot, Lina was pushing bottom the entire time. Took the tower down to about the same amount of HP, so ultimately it is going to be an even exchange health-wise. Although iG.V are still camping around this area. They have the Warlock and Tidehunter ultimates. They will know that that's fake. Smoke not going to pop on illusions, obviously. And Flyby in a really bad spot right now, although his illusion is going to get him to safety. That's only if they can pressure him out. Try to take down the Kunkka, then open the door for the Morphling, perhaps? Well, Kunkka illusion. Not doing a lot right now. Off to the south, it's going to be the Clockwork. He puts up the cogs, still jump in, is going to completely miss because he hookshot it out. That's going to kill off Dogfights. In July, looking for a way in, but even if he Ravages right now, he does not have his team here yet. Now they're going to arrive. Paparazzi there with the Ravage and the Chaotic Offering, but off to the south, the north rather, it's Shade. Sniping supports down as CDEC have only lost the Clockwork, and are you kidding me, Demons? Okay, actually, we'll get out of there. This, will not get out of there. This time, Demons will fall. 2 for 2. And they're camping out for the Ember Spirit, who is just rejuvenating in the fountain. It's time for him to rejoin the fight, right? Debated. Don't do it, bro. I know you want to, Papa. Okay, he's not going to do it. He's running. Sorry, guys. CM does have a Hand of Midas, but you can't survive forever as a CM. Ultimately, it's a 2 for 2 exchange, which for CDEC is amazing, since they pulled out the Ravage of the Tidehunter, able to do a lot of damage to him before his teammates were really ready to capitalize on that ultimate. And the Warlock ultimate was also used, but to not really a huge degree. And they get the tower deny. Wow. Sepp is going to dust up Cicada. Warlock Golem dies. That clears the line for the hookshot, which is going to capture Cicada, but he has a BKB, so Clockwork is just dead now. That's awkward. Dogfights is going to get boated. Demons, he'll back out of there. Maybe not. Paparazzi has arrived. Veil, chains, not quite.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Bottom lane tier 2. Pushed in again by this Lina. Morphling here as well. iG.V have so much assassination power with the Silver Edge Shadow Fiend now. Even if that was just a Shadow Blade still. That's pretty substantial. This Ember Spirit is running wild, and CDEC, well, they do have an X. They have a lot of stun duration, just can't quite land it on the Ember Spirit properly. Morphling is getting a lot of farm in the meantime. Ethereal Blade almost up. That shotgun is a tough sell up against this BKB Shadow Fiend. Monkey King's really just taking the brunt of every single fight. That is support taking the damage. It obviously means his ultimate is not really getting that much value, but it's an okay exchange there for iG.V. They're kind of okay with that. If the Monkey King dies, that means the Shadow Fiend, the Ember Spirit, they're not dying. At least not first thing. Oh, Blade Mail not picked up actually on clock. Still think it would have been a pretty good pickup, and it's never really too late to get a Blade Mail. And Hood is pretty darn good as well, but kind of Blade Mail. Cicada, Dogfights, both in the area, and they're going to converge onto Shade. They do dust him, but they miss the Boundless Strike. And now the hookshot and the boat both onto the Shadow Fiend. He's going to get the BKB off and just pop a Requiem off on the side. September is going to dodge most of that. They will still end up killing Shade. He does deny himself with the Ravage now committed onto Sept. He's going to get worked down by the Shadow Fiend. June slowed down as well. Will miss his own Torrent. They do take out the Warlock in the back, but they cannot save their Kunkka. They'll just try to TP out of there. Flyby is out. CM is also out before the stick can land. 3 for 1 in favor of iG.V. That shotgun, I can only assume, is what did the Warlock in. But again, this Shadow Fiend's BKB, really hard for CDEC to deal with at any stage in the game. Ags on Lina is not really an item that is frequently picked up. It does seem like up against a Flame Guard, up against a Shadow Fiend, up against a Tide, who is likely to be getting a pipe, I would say. You kind of do need non-magical sources of damage. I mean, Morphling can eventually get to a point where he's just a physical monster, but obviously Ethereal Blade does give you a lot of agility, the most agility that any item can give you. Still, it's not going to be great once the BKB comes up. You want to burst heroes down. I don't think he can burst down Paparazzi. Well, he's not really going to try. Paparazzi is going to blink in. He is going to get frozen. Here comes the burst combo. It's pretty heavy, but it's not good enough, and they will lose Shade in the meantime, who for some ungodly reason is alone in the mid lane. Don't ask questions why, just accept it. He's at 2 Bloodstone charges. This Lina has been honestly kind of careless with their positioning.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
By the way, guys, Lincoln Sphere is pretty bad on Morphling.
Bottom tower is under attack.
It just occurred to me, like, yeah, it blocks Gush and Shadow Word. I don't know, can you block Fatal Bonds if it's targeted on you? Maybe. I actually don't know about that. Oh, Clockwork in the front. Force Staff out. Gonna keep him safe, but they barely commit anything to him and take him down to half HP. There's Shrines. Oh, Ember Spirit gonna jump right in, looking for a Kunkka. Can't quite catch him. And Kunkka is still Kunkka. He has a hood, and he will be tanky enough to survive that. But still, Chaotic Offering, Ravage. They'll have mana for it if they really want to go for it. They have this double life on Shadow Fiend. He's been destroying people with just one life. It seems like CDEC, the damage that's coming out from these supports at this stage, just not enough to carry them through. And it does seem like they're just running out of damage. At least it's nowhere near what iG.V have. That is with the Morphling. With the Lina. They're still low on damage. Uh-oh. Got him. Well, I mean, I was asking before if it was going to be enough to kill off a Morphling. At this stage, he only has 20 more HP than last I checked, and Shadow Fiend has a whole additional level of Requiem. So Morphling just got obliterated. Lina's doing her best Nature's Prophet impression, but I don't think iG.V really care about this. Great Torrent, just slowing down iG.V, but Lina, even if she gets the tier 2, she will likely die for it. There's an Ember Spirit on her ass. Gonna get dusted up. Shade LSA is gonna miss. And now he's gonna try to TP out. The damage is so high. And Shade will take down a tower, but at a steep cost. She has no buyback, actually. What? I mean, I'm not really sure if I like that. Now they're gonna Ravage into the Clockwork. Monkey King ult as well. This is looking like it might just be a good game. Because, well, CDEC have a Morphling soon, but Shotgun will kill off the Shadow Fiend once, maybe. They lost Raxes. They're gonna lose a Crystal Maiden. That's such a good track record. Can't last forever. Shotgun will take down the Aegis. But now Morphling is gonna be rather useless until this combos back up. And in that time, gonna get chained down by Paparazzi. July still has no ultimate, they only have the Warlock ult left. Once again, Adaptive Strike on Paparazzi, Flame Guard will hold. And the Raxes, slowly but surely, and by that I mean very quickly, will be brought down. This is 1.5 racks for iG, and they will not get Cicada with that Torrent either. In July, will dodge the hookshot with the Blink. I don't know if he saw that or if he was just going to blink out anyway, but they will bound the strike under the Clockwork. Couple right clicks on the Shadow Fiend. Jeez, that damage is insane. Cicada's going to eat a boat to the face. BKB, no, going to dodge it. And off into the south, they're going to Laguna Blade Paparazzi, but they can't even kill him off. Now the Warlock's going to drop his rock onto Flyby mostly. They want this Morphling dead. They can't quite get him. Sep's going to run in for Cicada, but he's taking so much damage this Clockwork. Cogs go up. Cicada, he's going to look for Shade in the meantime. They're trying to chase after In July, but it's just a Tidehunter, even if they do get him. Warlock with the upheaval. Going to slow down Demons. Glimmer out. Going to get him a little bit more room. With Cicada in the middle of this many heroes, he will not die. He will die. The Death Requiem, though, will take down the CM. 1.5 racks in favor of iG.V. And CDEC, though they do, I guess in theory, defend, it's at a steep, steep cost. I mean, they get a lot of gold off of that, I guess. Lina and Morphling, they definitely need it. I mean, the Morphling has a Ethereal Blade to work with. It's going for, has gone for, Lincoln Sphere. BKB is going to be much better than the Lincoln Sphere, but still is not really what I would call a damage item. This Lina needs to start to not die. A level 25 talent on Shade, that additional Fiery Soul power, will do quite a lot for her. Not in the survival department, but just in the hide behind the Clockwork and try to get kills department. Though she is going to be jumped soon. Ember Spirit jumping in with the Dust. Shade does have backup this time. Chain stun onto the Ember Spirit is pretty good. I don't think they can kill him up before he just jumped out of here. Injuly is coming in from the south. Will get bumped back. That's just Lina with not enough damage. Paparazzi will chain down another one. Clockwork does have a hood. Paparazzi will not get hit by that torrent. Now Injuly looking for a little bit more. Jump in. Dogfight still has a Boundless Strike, I think. Will hit with the L side. No, actually used the Boundless Strike already. Off into the south. Here comes the boat and the freezing field. It will not be interrupted by Injuly. They're going to jump in with Flyby, looking for someone to shotgun. Not quite enough damage, though. The Morphling has to back off. And he'll get hit with the Boundless Strike. Kunkka as well, hit by it, and then the Ravage as the chain stun. LSA is great. Will stun up the Shadow Fiend just accidentally, but Sakata still with the BKB is able to get that off and just go to work onto June, getting a double. Now it's a Flyby off into the side. He will get stalked. He has a waveform down to the low ground. Paparazzi with no more spirits cannot easily give chase here, though still will land chains. The BKB on the Morphling really does not want to expend it for a situation like this. Dogfight's another Boundless Strike, but there's a Shrine active now for the Morphling. Jumping for Paparazzi, the damage to the Morphling is not quite enough. In the meantime, the Guna Blade goes towards the Monkey King. They're going to try to right-click him down in the tower. They'll get him, but that's only a Monkey King. Literally nobody cares. Sakata's still alive. He's still swinging. Demon's going to try to glimmer in for something. They X marks the Tidehunter. That does nothing. Now CM's dead. And they drop the rock onto 2 just to give Sakata and Paparazzi a little bit of extra space. Buyback on CM. Really to hold this bottom lane. Doing an admirable job, CDEC. But again, the losses they've sustained really, really high. And now they're going to chase into a little bit too far. Injuly does not have Ravage, but doesn't matter. June's dead in an instant. Flyby fails to insta-give the Warlock off to the side, even with the help of Sep. So they're going to take down the Warlock, but at what cost? Flyby now with the BKB, trying to man fight, but he just doesn't do enough damage. Hookshot is actually going to connect. Wow, sick hookshot from Sep, but it doesn't matter because Paparazzi is an Ember Spirit who has farm. Sep does not have enough survivability to deal with that, and Flyby now in a lot of trouble. He'll ghost himself. Lincoln Sphere will block the adaptive. That's an ultra for Sakata. That's good game called by June. 2 consecutive 30-something minute games. Requiem in Celebration? Ravage in Celebration? No, not quite. iG.V only losing their Monkey King. Some good early game plays. Actually, some fantastic early game plays from CDEC. But after all is said and done, just not able to keep up with the damage department. Not really sure if I like that Lincoln's pick on the Morphling. And the stats are really nice, I guess, but damage block, kind of low value. That's going to be it here for Game 2, guys. iG.V going to bring it to a Game 3. We have 3 best of 3s today, so it's going to be a long day for me, guys, but I'll be right back in just a little bit for Game 3 between iG.V and CDEC.